That's okay, because we're going to talk about
This is
emotional
perfect.
calmness and balance, and we
Yeah.
can still experience emotional calmness and balance regardless of what kind of chaos or movement or what other people are doing around us. So all is well, and we're going to start coming into this conversation. We've got some calmness in back in Deb's world here with her
Oh,
puppy.
thank goodness.
Debz is a stressologist. She will stretch your mindset to think bigger than you've ever thought before, with follow-through techniques that are realistic and achievable to blow any fear out of your mind. Moira is a mindset cultivator. She will help you align your personal trinity of self-trust, inner awareness, and self-confidence so that you discover and share your unique gifts and purpose. Together, their goal with these conversations is to share how our inclinations do not always work in our best interest and to provide the knowledge to leverage the gifts that already exist within each one of us. Their desire is to help you learn how to access the habits and behaviors that will lead to positive change and your best quality of life. Welcome to your deliciously motivated mindset.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Moira and listeners. Hello.
Hello, dear.
Yay,
Dear
yay.
Debs, how are you?
I'm great. Well, until you tell me to rate myself. But anyway, enough about that. Fabulous. We are here for another deliciously motivated mindset conversation with Debz. That's myself, and Moira, the calm voice. Yeah, that's the one, which is going to be perfect for today. And today we are talking about experience emotional calmness and balance.
Absolutely.
And
come to the right place.
Yeah, definitely. And that's Moira's voiceover, Debz. That's totally emotional calmness and balance. I'm the balance. I'm the other side.
Yeah, you're the balance.
Yeah, that's it. But before we get into it, we definitely have a great podcast here today for everybody. But before we get into it, we like to rate ourselves, whether you're a listener before or never done this before. So when we rate ourselves from a 0 to 10. And a 0 being zen, neutral, balanced, centered, poised, no worry about the present, no worry about the future, past. You're just sitting present, you're listening.
Just being present, absolutely.
Just, no chaos going on. And a 10 is the number between 9 and 11. And that is when you are in a pickle. And I call a pickle, you're in a frazzle. You're frustrated. There's so much going on. You feel like you're the water going down the drain hole. And you can't stop that escalating chaos.
Yeah, it is chaos.
I try and describe it differently each time, but I think that's it. So
and that is it. It's chaos, but it's also feeling stuck, and then maybe not feeling like you've got the inner the fortitude to get through something or figure something out.
Yeah,
right?
Not even the energy to go, what can I do?
Yeah,
Is a 10. So we rate ourselves at the start of the podcast, and then we rate ourselves at the end of the podcast. And I encourage everyone to do that as well, just to see where your energy shifts, if this podcast helped you. And definitely today, I'd really like to think it's going to help you to take you to a lower score. And also, it's a great tool to do during the week, during the day, outside of the podcast. Yeah, just when you feel yourself getting into a frazzle, go, oh my God, where am I? Of course, I'm at number 6. That makes it feel right. And then you can just allow that as your excuse or whatever it is, accountability. Go, okay, I'm at number 6. I'm going to do something about it. Or I'm a number 8. And you'll just
I need to call Deb and Moira to help me.
Yeah, that's it. I need some calmness and balance. And you can do that, or you can go, gosh, I'm actually feeling really amazing and there's nothing controlling me and I'm sitting at a 1.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say one thing first is don't judge yourself on the number you're at right now. don't compare yourself to Moira or I or the person who's listening with you if you're sitting there with a friend or anything, colleague, and you hear that, because that's the worst thing you can do, because your life is your life, your emotions are your emotions, and your number is your number. So in saying that, Moira, what is your number? See, this is it. I get, we start these and I go, oh, damn, I'm going to have to rate myself. What am I? Yeah, that's it.
So, before we pressed record today, we actually always talk for over an hour before we say, oh, I guess we should record something.
This is probably the shortest we've actually talked beforehand, actually.
Quite, yeah, possibly. But, I would say as I came on today, I was probably a 3. And then, and to your point, Deb, it's so beneficial to check in regularly. So if I think that prior to starting our conversation, I was at a 3, now I'm at a 1. And I'm only saying I'm at a 1 because I'm excited for this conversation. This is so a big part of the work that I do, and I really look forward to seeing how this evolves.
Absolutely. And I can see that. And I would say I am, I would have said I'm a 1, but you wouldn't believe what's just happened, everybody. I've just been dumped with the puppy. The puppy's just come in.
Puppy just landed in your office.
So I would have said I was a 1. I'm now probably sitting at a 4 because he came straight in and my cup of coffee was sitting on the floor that had nothing in it. But he just came in, and now I'm probably saying I'm down at about a 6. So Moira, just take over for a moment as I hit mute. Just
okay.
Go.
Okay. So the idea of us just sitting at a 1, you may have noticed that I said that initially I was at a 3. So that was me kind of feeling like I had a few challenging things that needed to be talked through. But then when I come in and rate myself with a 1, it's actually a more positive piece where I'm feeling like, oh, what are we going to discover in our conversation today? So there's more. So that's just having that awareness about what these numbers are all about and how to assess yourself on it.
And they are incredibly vital for our everyday world.
Yeah.
You're going to hear this puppy?
That's okay, because we're going to talk about
this is perfect.
Calmness and balance, and we can still experience emotional calmness and balance regardless of what kind of chaos or movement or what other people are doing around us. So all is well, and we're going to start coming into this conversation. We've got some calmness back in Deb's world here with her puppy.
Thank goodness, because this is definitely what I need today, is talking about experience emotional calmness and balance. As I see it licking the carpet. Do you know, they say that dogs are actually amazing for workplaces to help experience calmness for everybody and to relax people, but I don't know, maybe it's not 8-week-old puppies.
I would kind of guess that for sure.
Yeah, I think maybe it's not that, maybe it's the other ones. So when you think of emotional calmness and balance, Moira, I mean, for me, it's definitely something when you recognize that you're a 10. And then you want to go, okay, well, I definitely don't want to stay at a 10 all day. I want to shift that energy. How do I do that? And that's and that is when you desire to have that call upon you. Right. And there's so many different tools out there that we use. And in fact, I was actually I love one of your favorite ones. And you know what I'm going to say? It's that hand on the heart. I love that. And I was talking to a woman, a client yesterday, and she's heavily pregnant, first child. And she does a lot of mindset work, and it's getting to that state. When she gets into the meditative state, she's amazing. But to get herself into that meditative state is the challenge.
Right.
And now that she's about due to give birth, it's her thing. And she said, I just don't know how I'm going to be able to jump into that state because I used to always struggle anyway.
Right.
And as I said to her, I said, just stop and just put your hand on your heart and breathe.
Yeah.
And just even that, and just go, I live here.
Yeah.
And she went, oh. And so it just that little, that is just, you're not in your head.
That's right.
You don't have to think about anything. You don't have to worry about anyone around you. And I just love that.
Mm-hmm.
Just takes you straight away to calmness and balance. Now, yes, all the other chaos can still go on around you, but it just settles you down and you can just start to breathe and feel like you're functioning again.
Absolutely. And that's the whole point about it. So here's the thing. In this idea of having the experience of emotional calmness and balance, we can have an emotional upheaval happen where we might get upset about something or challenged or have some kind of anger or irritation happen, right? But if we stay into what you just said, like maintain that put your hand over your heart, take some deep breaths, we are emotional beings. We are going to have those times at 10, those times at 0, and everything in between. And this is what you said actually at the beginning of our conversation today, Debz, about never feeling like there's something wrong with what you're feeling or where you're at. It's your number, it's your emotion, but you can still feel calm within chaos.
Absolutely.
Right? Because it's by having the awareness that you don't have to get into the cyclone crazy making thinking. You can have that feeling of turmoil or of crazy making thinking, but you want to make sure that you're the observer of it and just go, okay.
Yeah, I remember someone actually saying to me once, just sit and feel your feelings. And I was like, what the no way, you can't sit and feel. You want to get out of here. I don't want to get sitting in that room with a tornado. No way, I want out now, and I want out now. And now I realize it's a real gift to sit and feel your feelings, and understand, and just because you trust, you have to trust. Yep. You have to trust that it's going to be okay, and you're going to come out the other side, because we've all experienced chaos any time in our life, more than once. I mean, if you've only experienced it once, you're just being delusional, but we've all experienced it more than once. And to know that you came out the other side, then you're still going to come out. So even just sit and feeling your feelings. But I do remember the day they said that to me, and I was like, that's just ridiculous. Who would feel their feelings? You must fix it. That's my job, is to fix it straight away. My job, even before I did my job, what I'm doing. But that, you're a failure in my mind from back then to feel your feelings. Oh God, no. Feel that feeling quick. Bat it out of the ballpark.
But that's part of the issue with the Western world, is that we are conditioned to be like that. It's like, no, that just takes too much time and too touchy-feely to sit and feel your emotions.
Yeah.
But Deb, you and I have been talking that I more and more using the human design and gene keys in the work that I do with clients. And one of the amazing pieces about this is I get to help people see what is their shadow as well as their gift.
Yeah.
And the truth is, we all have our shadows and our gifts. But all too often, with what you're just saying, it made me think of this, is that so many people might start to get a little taste of what that shadow is and then run away. I have to fix it. I have to get rid of it. I have to suppress it because I want to be sitting in the gift. I want the gift of the clarity, the purpose, the peace, whatever the gift is. But the key piece is we need both.
Well, you won't know what you can handle if you run from it.
Exactly.
So you actually got to stop and have it, the storm come upon you, so you know you can handle it. I think that's, and we all know the more you run from things, the more it gets bigger and bigger from you, and gets faster.
Exactly. You and I've talked about that in many different episodes in the past, about if you don't sit with a willingness to say, well, this is where I'm at and this is what I got to deal with, that it will get bigger and bigger and bigger until it does, like the I've shared with you before, the falling headfirst down a set of stairs and breaking my arm. That was a prime example of me not honoring and feeling what was going on, running away.
Yeah.
I can keep going like this.
And that, absolutely. And that's our little our challenge is actually, and I challenge people to sit and feel your feelings. I challenge them to just stop and breathe and go, what is this? What is this? But even if you don't have to analyze it. How do I get out of it? No. Just go, okay, well, let's just see what this is all about. Let's just see what this is all about and what we can do.
Absolutely. So, I was talking to a client just last week. We were talking about, she had these heavy duty feelings of not being good enough, of always making mistakes, of just feel. Now, she had a whole plethora of labels of what she was feeling. And so what I had her do is sit and feel her feelings as she was telling me what was going on.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah. And then what I had her do, and I got her to close her eyes, I actually got her to magnify the feelings, like really expand them, make them bigger and bigger. And then I had her to scan her body, because it's best to do this if with your eyes closed. But I got her to, just with her awareness, scan her body and then tell me, what does it feel like? So she's feeling despair and upset and lack of worth. And so basically, and it was really neat because she immediately went into the feeling. She said it felt tension all over her face. She had all these weird sensations down her arms, and then we stopped. So I had her stop telling me about the sensations or about the emotions, and just literally be with the sensations in her body and keep breathing and keep breathing and keep breathing. And what happened, and actually she burst out laughing because she says, Moira, I teach all my clients exactly this technique.
That's funny.
And that was what it's like. You feel the feelings, but then you come into your body and see, can you soften that rigidity that's actually thrown you out of balance? And that's all it is. It's very quick technique. But that was just so fun to watch her laugh and then tell me that she actually taught the
that's
technique.
what she does. Yeah, and I think that's a beautiful thing also, because for her, that's she was in a safe space to do that with you. She felt comfortable that whatever Moira is giving me, I'm going to be able to do. And like, I trust Moira that if I get into anything, I'm going to be able to get out of it. And then when she realized, oh, jeepers, this is something that I teach people. I don't necessarily need Moira to do this anymore. I can definitely do this on my own. And I think that's the next level of power for her, is to know that. And we all have tools. Like we can give you 10 tools to, how to experience emotional calmness and balance. We can definitely give you 10 tools. And then you're like, oh, I do those, or, oh, I know those, but I don't do them.
Right.
And I think that's the key to actually go, because everyone knows what to do. We all know what to do, but we just get ourselves, like we talked about at the start, you get yourself into such a pickle that you don't even think to hold your heart. Like that's just hold your heart, or your boob. As I said to the woman, I said, hold your boob, because, now that you're massive, pregnant, massive boob, give it a good hold. She said, I don't know where my heart is actually. Somewhere in there. But I mean, even just those little things, because we get ourselves into such a state that sometimes we can't even see clearly. Absolutely. And when people say, what about this? You're just like, oh my God, I know that. Or I used to do that, or I teach that. And you're like, ugh.
Right. But there's a really important learning piece in here with what you've just said, is that when I'm teaching tools, I know people know these things. But what's really, really important is to not then go into a shaming or a guilt of
Absolutely.
yourself, of what's wrong with me? How come I didn't do this?
Yeah.
So this part of the conversation is reminding me of another conversation I had with this beautiful young client who she actually is, I think, she's already had it now. She had a mastectomy. She's breast cancer. And she does a lot of this kind of work of visualizing and meditating and yoga and lots of mind-body types of care for herself.
Mm-hmm.
But in our conversation, she says, Moira, I can't visualize myself healed. And I said, it's too much. It's too much for you to do
that
on
would be
your
the
own.
freaky stuff is, oh my God, I can't see it. I can't see an end to this.
No, but the point being, she was trying to visualize that on her own. So then I took her through a guided visualization process, and ta-da, guess what? She did.
Yeah.
But that's my point.
She's putting so much pressure on herself.
Exactly. And so this is why I wanted to bring that into this conversation, where you're saying we know all these tips and techniques and tools, but when we are running maybe our tanks a little bit low, maybe our resilience has taken a wee bit of a hit because the chaos is so big, or so the issue that you're coming through is so big, then you do need to ask for help. But it doesn't mean that you've let yourself down.
A quick wee message before we get back to this episode. You can get access to a special gift Moira and Debz have put together for you. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift. When you sign up, you'll receive instant access to an inner peace kit and the 30 Days of Wisdom program, both of which is intended to help you feel deliciously motivated right away. Go to deliciouslymotivatedmindset.com/gift.
Right?
Yeah. This is actually, what you've just said is actually really significant in my world now, because so even like I talk to Moira Tuesday mornings, which is her Monday evening or late afternoon. And I know if I'm in a pickle with anything, I know I'm talking to Moira Tuesday morning. Right. So I know it's going to be resolved. So it can store into a bank of, oh, Moira will be able to answer that tomorrow.
Right.
And she'll go, how are you? And I'll go, great. And then I'll go, actually, no, I'm not. I've got this, this, and this. And without even knowing, I've just shared it and it's started to resolve anyway. But I park it that night or that day before to go that. And I encourage clients to say, okay, maybe we talk every Thursday. You know, I have regular clients at the same time each week. Maybe we talk each Thursday. And on Tuesday, you're in a pickle. So just text Deborah and say, hey, this is what's going on for me. Can we cover it on Thursday? Because the moment you reach out and you text or email or contact me or anything, it's already started the healing process.
Exactly.
And Sunday night, I was in a pickle. I had some stuff going on, and a lady I do sessions with, I do them with her and she does them with me. And I thought, oh, I need to just reach out to her to remind me tomorrow. I really am desperate to get this. And I was desperate to get this resolved. I actually wanted her to resolve it there and then. And she said, just sit and hold space. And I was like, I don't want to sit and hold space. I want you to resolve it for me. And she said, it's healthy. And I never said that. She said, do you want to do it now? And I was like, no. She goes, you know, you've already started the healing process. And I'm like, I know. Because I just told her that the other day. I said, the moment you reach out. So it was beautiful, because all of a sudden I knew the next day I was going to talk to her and it was going to be resolved. And we did a session, and the people who I was in chaos with, a few people, I'd messaged them and I said, yes, I'll talk to you Monday afternoon. You know, so I had all that in place. So I knew, I booked it in my diary that she was going to help me resolve it. And then she started talking and I went, oh my God, she's just going to say all the stuff that I already know. And then I went, right, but isn't it beautiful that I'm educated? And in my mind, my ego went, I shouldn't have reached out to her. I could have done this yesterday, you know, straight away. And then I went, isn't it beautiful that I have these unconscious programs that are running on me, and this is going to help her as well.
Right.
And and that's what made me go, oh, this is great. This is why I'm talking to her today, as well as put us both on a different spin. And then, as it was, it didn't take her long to unpick the core, and we dissolved it really quickly. But the moment you reach out to somebody, you've already started to heal. And because you've acknowledged it and you've gone, okay, I need help.
Absolutely. So, so I have a similar dynamic with clients that I work with, where in between sessions, because I meet with clients regularly too, and then in between or right on the lead up, if there is crisis going on or they want to check in, then I have them email me. I don't do text so much, not like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I do the email. Yeah. And to your point, and most of my clients have made this comment in one way or another, that as soon as they have written it out.
I'm nodding my head before she even talks. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
As soon as it's done and they hit send, it all starts to lift off. Because here's what I think happens is that energetically, you've acknowledged, you've appreciated, you've said, this is what's going on, told the truth. And then you've
delegated it.
Yes, you know that you've got somebody in your corner that's going to help you unpack it. But just doing that, setting that intention, it started already. So much.
Absolutely.
So even by the time that I get to the client session, there's times where it's kind of like, yeah, that was an issue 2 days ago. It's all good now.
It's true. It is absolutely true. And I think that's the thing. So, when we go, okay, well, I'm going to reach out to a friend and talk to a friend, or I'm feeling lonely, and the moment you reach out to someone and they reach back, it's that whole, it's all still part of the healing. But the thing is, you've just got to acknowledge, this is my issue, or this is where I'm at. Now, it doesn't mean you have to go, I'm lonely or I'm angry. You don't have to, I'm at a 7. Mm-hmm. So you don't even need to, acknowledge that whatever's going on, I'm emotional or I want this. It's actually, I acknowledge I'm at a 7 out of 10.
Right.
And I want to be a 2. So just that alone, now what can I do? Okay, hand on my heart and breathe, and I'll reach out to Debz or Moira. Yeah. Whatever. But the moment you actually acknowledge, and you don't have to say, I'm angry, I'm frustrated, I'm jealous, I'm whatever it is, it's, this is where I'm at this number. Can you help me? And that is just it's a fast track. It's a boot camp to healing, because all of a sudden you've delegated it for us to, or anyone else, to handle it.
And so something that I do also really encourage clients with this I am idea, saying I am angry, I am upset, I am in a funk. When we use I am, the word directly after the I am statement magnifies. And so I really encourage people to watch that. So I know I'm experiencing anger in this moment.
That's a nice one.
Absolutely. Because that is another piece. It puts a wee bit of a buffer there, but it acknowledges and appreciates the fact that I am having this experience. Because all emotions are impermanent. And if we start holding on to saying, I am this, and it magnifies, and sometimes we can even get into having our head spinning lots of different stories as to how come I'm having this feeling. As opposed to just saying, I'm having this experience, and once I recognize it, admit it, tell the truth, it hasn't got a power on me anymore. And
I love that word experience. I'm experiencing. It's just a softer way of it's just a softer way to your internal mindset,
and it's calming.
But your voice is very calming. Your voice is very warm, and it's attractive, and just makes you just go, oh, anyway. So, I encourage people to jump on one of Moira's videos, or jump on one of her, I was going to say podcast, definitely a podcast, but jump onto one of her meditations or something, even if you don't want to see her, just shut your eyes and listen, because just that alone just takes it in. And our energy bubbles are so significant that when you're listening to Moira, you are, even if she's recorded that 3 years ago, you're still part of that energy from 3 years ago. You're sitting in that new energy bubble that's beautiful for you and Moira right there and then.
Absolutely. No, that's a really important part, because that's that whole idea that everything's happening in the now moment. So it doesn't matter. I mean, I have got meditations available that are years old, but if they're fresh to you and you hear what you need to hear in this moment, then that's perfect, and my intention.
And I think that's really significant, because people, for me, I would go, oh, I don't want something you've recorded 5 years ago. I want right for me now. But as we let our ego go and we get into that and we actually discover whatever you're listening to right here, right now is perfect for you. I had a couple of people here yesterday and they were talking and they were like, how come every time we listen to your Facebook Lives, Deb, everything is so significant to us? And I'm like, because you got on it. You knew that's what, like every time. I'm like, have you listened to any of the others? They're like, no. And I'm like, well, get on to the others. But we don't want to, because every time you say something, we're like, oh, yeah, we need to address that. Oh, yeah, we need to address that. But it's true, because there's no mistake. You may only listen to one of these podcasts a month, and that's the one that's really going to resonate for you.
Exactly. It's trust,
whether you want it to
energy.
not.
Yeah.
Whether you want it or not. That's the attraction to you right here, right now, is, wow, I listened to this and it really landed.
Yeah, and that's actually a really, really awesome point that you make there, because even if you listen to the same thing over and over again, I have clients actually that listen to some of my self-hypnosis audios that I've created. And one client in particular, we would laugh about this. She would say, I swear you must sneak into my bedroom at night and say different things. Because each time she listened to it, she'd hear something different and go, wait a minute, I didn't hear that last night. You didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
But so this is about empowering you, because you will hear what you need to hear when you need to hear it.
I remember that. Absolutely. I remember the first time I listened to a meditation. In fact, probably the first half a dozen, 20 times maybe. I would fall asleep. I'd listen and I'd go, oh. And then I'd wake up and go, oh, shit, it's finished. Shit, I've missed it. Oh my God, that's so no good. And I'd go to start listening to it again. I go, oh, I can't. But even knowing that you have fallen asleep listening to something, it's still going in.
That's right.
Because our conscious is still taking that in. We just don't know. And when we're sleeping, we know that our brain is still working overdrive anyway and dealing with the stuff that we didn't deal with in our real day.
Processing.
Yeah.
Processing under in our subconscious. Absolutely.
Yeah, processing. So what would be your, and I'm going to say quick tips. What other quick tips do we have for people to calm your farm, as my cousin would say, to experience emotional calmness and balance?
So you already mentioned the one on our conversation here. It's one of my favorite ones, is to just put your hand over your heart and just say, I live here. Or
yeah, that I freaking love that.
Yeah, me too. It is my favorite one. But another one of my favorite ones is that just to tap on your chest bone area, right where your collarbone.
Where my microphone is. Yeah.
Right where your microphone is.
It won't do that.
But that one also is that one. You don't have to say anything or be doing anything other than just tapping on your chest, or you could even just tap your fingers. See, when we do something physical, it helps bring our awareness here into this present moment, right? So that's the key pieces. So we have,
that's a great one.
Your heart,
the physical,
tapping. The other one that's really important too, and this is a breathing technique. Actually, it's a breathing technique that I actually call the off switch for our amygdala. So the amygdala is the part of our brain that does our fight, flight, freeze, freak out, and sometimes all of them together.
Yeah.
The 4 Fs.
Yeah. Far out. Yes.
But so for this one, what you do is you breathe in fully through your nose, pause slightly, and then sigh it out of your mouth. Do a couple of those. What that's doing, when we sigh out of our mouth long and slow like that, we are telling our subconscious everything's okay. Even if our conscious mind's going, yeah, but this and this, and oh my God, I'm all good.
Yeah, I would have to do that a few times to calm my
Calm your
down.
farm.
Yep, calm my farm, because I'd be like, oh, this is stupid. I've got 20,000 things down here. I'm freaking breathing in through my nose and out my mouth. Damn, bloody.
And then
I would
3 breaths later, you'd be going,
you'd be like, oh, that might work.
like I say, that's Moira's magic off switch for the amygdala.
Yeah, that's well, I will try. I've written it down. I will definitely try that off air. That's a great one, and I think for people is you can use something today that might not work tomorrow. Exactly. You can use something, and don't beat yourself up. And I do think the quickest way to healing is just acknowledging.
Yeah,
I do think that is just the first one, is just going, okay, well, I'm in a funk. I'm this. Like the moment you actually can recognize it, or I'm experiencing funk, the moment you can actually recognize that is the quickest road to healing.
Exactly, because then you're not running away from the experience that you're having in that moment, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. So calmness and balance. I know for me, meditation was always weird. Like, oh my God, you have to sit cross-legged. You have to put your fingers together with your thumbs and turn them upside down. Like that's what I believed meditation was for so long. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And for so long. And then knowing that you can just even breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth and relax.
Yep.
Is a part of meditation. Like it's, it's all just part of, and to me, meditation is, I would say, is being present.
Yeah.
And that would be the start of it. So, anything that people use to be present.
Yeah.
But don't beat yourself up that yesterday you're having an amazing day and today you're not, or whatever, because things can change at a drop of a hat, like being dropped on me with my little puppy who's now just fallen across on my feet. So I actually probably can't even move. But any of that stuff, you can go from a 0 to wherever very quickly.
0 to 12.
Yeah.
But do you know, and wanted to just circle back to something you said about the different techniques. There is no one technique that fits for every circumstance that you experience.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah, I think that's part of what drives my passion in helping people develop more tools and create different strategies and techniques and create different types of visualizations and meditations, is that it's about trusting you and trusting that you will navigate towards the thing that will suit that circumstance or that experience in that moment.
And well, it is that trust and just being okay.
Absolutely.
Being okay with this right here, right now.
One of the biggest things about being okay is, to me, that's the underpinning of balance. So, dear listeners,
it's a nice one.
I thought that was a lovely one to wrap this up.
That's
Calmness
a nice
and
one.
Balance. Been an excellent conversation. We hope this has inspired our listeners to look at what is it you need to experience emotional calmness and balance, and understand that it will shift and change as you shift and change. But as we draw this conversation to a close today, we're just going to check back in on that scale of 0 to 10 and see, where are you? Where were you at the beginning and where are you now? We'd love to
actually rate myself.
Comments. Yes, you did, actually.
Did I?
Yes, you were a 1.
Oh, okay.
I think it changed.
It changed very quickly when my office door opened and in came Finn.
Little puppy.
And I just went straight to a, what is that the time now? Oh no.
So I was a 1. I think we both were a 1 to start.
That's right. You were a 3 when we started on the call this morning. Then you went to a 1.
To 1, yeah.
So I would say, well, I'm actually a little bit nervous. The puppy's asleep, definitely. So I would say I'm still a 1.
Okay.
Just because I have that thing. He's just found his voice, and my fingers are near the mute if I need to. The moment he wakes up and sings. So I would still say I'm a 1, just on apprehension from Finn.
And so the interesting point about that is that because your number did change in our conversation, but you now circled back to a 1 for maybe a
yes,
bit of a
of
different
course.
reason. So I think that's kind of cool piece to just draw our attention to.
Well, he ran straight in and took the coffee mug that was on the floor for me to take out, and they had coffee things around the top, and he just went straight in and lick, and I was like, no, and then so I think I went to a 10 then. Yeah.
And for me, I'm at a 0, but that kind of comes with what it is to be Moira.
Yeah, totally. And that's the beauty of experiencing emotional calmness and balance.
Absolutely. So awesome conversation. Hope that it's helped you. Thank you, dear Deb. Thank you, listeners. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks. Moira.
Bye.
Bye.